Business Forum is meeting virtually over 3 days against a backdrop of a world attempting to emerge out of the pandemic without taking too much of a body blow. China's economy has recovered further from the coronavirus in the third quarter. It reported economic growth of 4.9% from a year ago. What lessons can be learnt here? Busi Mabuza is the chair of the South African chapter of the BRICS Business Council. She joins us now. Busi, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, COVID has just changed everything. What's going to be the main focus of the meetings this year?
So the forum this year is exactly looking at that, Stephen. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The BRICS countries have taken this opportunity to share lessons and share interventions that they have seen work in their different countries. So we're looking at a range of issues. The sessions started today looking at lessons learned. We looked at digital platforms and the digital economy and innovation. And there was a session that was looking at the green economy. Each one of them very fascinating. The next sessions are, of course, on Thursday.
I mean, all of the countries need help. China, of course, is sort of on the road to recovery, but Brazil and India are suffering hugely from the virus. Our economy is suffering hugely as a result. I would imagine there are big conversations in the middle of this of what governments do to try and support business.
Absolutely, Stephen. So, first of all, I was absolutely taken aback by the numbers that we saw in terms of how COVID has hit our different economies. And for China, it looked as though the numbers had been inverted because they had done millions of tests. But in terms of the confirmed cases, they were looking at tens of thousands, if they did even get to 10,000. So this is an opportunity for the rest of the BRICS nations to see what China has done right. We did get a lot of support from the BRICS nations during our respective lockdown in the different nations. And they came through with the medication, they came through with the protective equipment. But we are now saying we are open for business. And the president has announced an economic recovery strategy that we believe that investors should come and support. And we believe that it's very exciting.
There's also, I mean, you mentioned the digital economy just a moment ago. And we've seen, for example, China has made huge strides in that. India seems to be, you know, they've had a tech boom around Mumbai for quite some time. But I worry that we're falling behind a little bit. I don't think our education system is necessarily training young adults, training children to grow in that economy. And we're seeing in many economies around the world, people are losing jobs because of the way the economy is moving into that digital economy phase.
And Stephen, you were addressing the plight of small business just a little earlier. Small business will need to get onto digital platforms in order for them not only to survive, but to thrive in the new normal. Now, in South Africa, we haven't seen the innovation that we have seen in the other bigger economies. However, we do have companies in South Africa, and we can mention one that is listed in the JSE, a very large company that has been able to handpick opportunities in those BRICS countries. I am hoping that companies such as that one will be bringing the skills back to the country and supporting entrepreneurs so that innovation can start thriving in the country. I'm excited that government and the private sector have now found it important to collaborate in order to support businesses so that we are able to start seeing the green shoots that we need to see.
We need to see green shoots. I mean, are there any recommendations coming out already about what governments should be doing to get business going again? It's one thing to say we're open for business, but there's no demand, unfortunately, really for tourism at the moment. If you're in the UK, you're probably locked up somewhere. You can't even go to a pub. The same for almost all of the places across Europe. It's just the most difficult time that I can think of.
Well, Stephen, first of all, I like the fact that government continues to review the visa regulations that they have put in an effort to try and mitigate the COVID pandemic spread. However, we need to get to a point where there is some stability in terms of what we say to the external tourists so that they can make their plans and come in. Government has been very proactive. I think since the president announced the economic recovery plan, we've had the Minister of Energy come forward and start saying very exciting things. Municipalities will now be able to procure their own energy. So those that are creditworthy will be going out into the market and resolving their problems. And Stephen, in terms of infrastructure, I believe watch this space. And I hope all entrepreneurs will be positioned to take the advantage of that.